my review of Immortals, and there's gonna be lots of spoilers in this. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, then don't watch it. But the trailer here that's in the background pretty much gives away everything in the plot. Anyways, if I had given the film a rating, I'd probably give it probably a D. As far as these kind of movies go, I thought for what it is, it was pretty fun. It was a good kind of popcorn movie if you can see what's going on. It's pretty dark and so many places. So hard to see what's going on. I was glad that the camera angles are a little more pulled out a little bit more than most of these kind of movies. Maybe they had a little bit bigger budget. But the movie has, for the pros, there's lots of cool death sequences and lots of killing and blood and gore, and I don't know, it's crazy. And it's easy on the brain pinkage because you don't have to think too much. You just, at first you think there's a plot, and then it quickly goes out the window. He gets his mom gets killed, and then in the next scene, it's like he didn't, it never happened. He doesn't care about it anymore. He's not mad or angry or sad, or he doesn't need to go on a shopping spree and fill his sadness with useless junk. And there's also a lot of hot naked guys if you're into hot naked guys. And for the cons, there's what's a plot for? What is that useful for in a movie? Because it's not anywhere to be found here. There's a lot of loopholes in the film that even the casual viewer would just question. And the mythology's changed a bit, so if you're not into that or an English professor, you probably wouldn't like the film. It's just kind of action scene, not really much else. It'd be a good film to have on, DVD or whatever, so if you want to watch those parts over and over again. Favorite scene in the film, it was kind of hard to pick. I was going to pick the ending credits originally, but I thought I would pick a real scene. I like the scene, I guess, with the bow and arrow when he finds it. It's kind of neat the arrow shows up not there. I think it'd be more cool if the string wasn't even there. And it's kind of weird. He gets the rock out of that, or gets the bow out of the rock, and it's just kind of really too easy, too, like, I don't know, they could have came up with a better gimmick on how that happened. And I always thought that the place they fight in, the little crypt, I guess, it kind of reminds me of the Cubert board right there. Like, it looks just like it. So I kept making the little noise when I was watching this scene. It was kind of neat that the Minotaur is just like a big human, and then he kind of acts like an animal, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of different, I guess. But I think I would rather have him, like twice as tall, or like a real big head or something, or breathe fire or something. And like the last fight scene, the bad guy has way too many opportunities to just annihilate him, and he doesn't do it. But it's probably my favorite scene, I guess. It's still in a small room though, and he kind of dies in the same way as the end boss does, or I think in video games, the end character, the king guy. So I don't know, that everybody likes that thing with the candles on it there. This last part of the Minotaur fight, I think, is really kind of cheesy. They could have done a little better here. He knocks him down, and then it turns into like a WWE brawl. Like, that just looks so fake. It's so bad. And then he hits him here. He stands up, and then he pounds on him And in one shot, I think it's this one. Yeah, the little jolt comes afterwards. You can kind of see the club bending too, like it's made out of foam and stuff. My least favorite scene of the film was at the end, the final fight sequence with Zeus and his the Immortals, and also the King. And I just really didn't care for the all the slow motion that they filled this, and it really messed the pacing of the film up. It was really fast paced, and then they slowed it down here. And Zeus's companions have are really bad acting and really bad line delivery. And it's like they got trapped into this little cool dungeon thing, and they can't figure out how to get out of it. And this part here where he pulls the feet of the little statues down, it just seems very implausible, like it would work. But I'm not a structural engineer or anything like that. But and why are there little things on top of it ready just for this purpose? And the other thing I was thinking is, if they're gods and they came down, couldn't they just like kill them really fast? I don't understand why they have to do all this. And then also earlier, I would think that they still have their powers, but the other part of the scene I didn't care for is he finally gets killed, the king, and it's just it's not very good for how violent and all the things he's did to everybody, and he just kind of gets stabbed in the neck, and a gruesome way of him dying. And I think it'd be more interesting if he died from his greed and lust for power rather than just losing a knife fight. For the best performance in this one, I think John Hurt did the best. He did the narration, which was pretty cool. He has a nice sounding voice, and he did well with that. What I like is that he doesn't come out and he's kind of mysterious, um, and he doesn't really explain everything he's gonna do like most of the film does. There's never any mystery in the whole film. It's just kind of like they already know what's gonna do, what they're gonna do, and so he adds a little bit of that to it. He doesn't. His close-ups are good, but it's not really the best performance. I wonder how he probably wasn't on set that many days. So, but I didn't have anything else to pick from. The Superman guy there. I mean, for an action movie, he did okay. Better than kind of like a Rock or something like that. But if I was gonna pick my top one that was more memorable, it'd be that, because I remember that character, and then when you see the bird flying around it, you think about that a little more. And he has some good kind of advice that kind of like Jedi like, I guess. Well, for the worst performance of this film, I'm gonna have to go with this little kid. I thought about it for a while, and it just like it takes me out of the film. He just like, what is he doing right here? He's like thinking about his Legos, or he's just so awkward, and he just like sits by his mom waiting for the cue. And then also, this is a kind of bonus. It's like, why would you pick this crotch shot of these guys fighting? Like, you can totally look up their skirts and dresses and whatever they call they're wearing. And some of these people spinning around, if you look real closely, like the guy on the left there, and he's like jumping. It just looks so horribly cheesy. And the blood goes weird, and then it does this weird zoom out. So that's like 1,000 bad actors right there. And even this eye, it just doesn't make me excited to see a sequel. And that kid doesn't seem like he would be, I don't know. It's very, very Anakin Skywalker casting this, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I had some fun with the film, but it's okay. It's not really that great. Some things this segment I'm going to talk about that I would change. For me, I would just kind of rewrite everything. Just spend some time at a library and see what's going on there. they got some books there that might be on Greek mythology that you could kind of just, I don't know, copy off of. So I would do that first. Another thing I saw in the film was that Zeus, they kind of purposely made him, well, they play it off that way, is they played it off that they hired him for as a younger actor to play him. And but then I was thinking about that. This is they might just be saying that because that's who they cast as the role and all the contract things. So I don't think it works that well. He does an okay job. He doesn't seem powerful like he's Zeus, and he doesn't seem like he commands everybody, and it doesn't seem like he has power. Like he can do things, but he doesn't seem like he's in control. And he also wears kind of the same gold uh, outfit as the rest of the gods do, and I think he should have a different thing to distinguish him, and maybe shoot him lower angles to make him look bigger. The actor they got, he looks pretty scrawny, and the heroes and some of the soldiers look, more physically intimidating, and especially with mythology, that's a big part of it. And I'd say the Minotaur should have been a little bit bigger. So I would have done that with him, and the bad guy, the king, he doesn't. It's like missing all the backstory of why he's like so angry, or maybe he has some mental problem or something. But he just needs his own little story to make it more intimidating, because he gets so close to him, and you get those Mickey Rourke moments, where he's just like kind of doing monologues, and it like, I mean, they're cool, but because he always kind of just kills off his messengers. I noticed, like, I think there's like one time when he doesn't kill off the messenger. So when you're just waiting for that to happen. And in the beginning of the story, his mom gets killed right in front of him. Here he's trying to save her, and he does a little bit, but then they capture him and somehow don't kill him right away. And she gets her throat slashed, and then next scene it's like he's not feeling sad or guilty or depressed, and he doesn't feel like he has to join eHarmony, and he doesn't feel revenge, that can only be subdued by excessive consumerism, and it just doesn't work out, and then kind of ruins the whole plot. The other part of the film is so dark, I couldn't really enjoy most of it. And it's not even like a style thing, it's just kind of like the final output on the DVD is just so dark, or the gamma's like dropped down or something. I tried on like some other TVs and DVD players and the Xbox, and it just looks that way. It makes it look like a really cheap movie. And then there's the magical oracle seeing in the future woman. She's like the dumbest chick ever. If you had this amazing power to see in the future, and you wouldn't give that up for anything, and you just like sleep with him right away. And I don't know, you just wouldn't give that power up. And she would think you would look in the future and see, oh, this guy I just slept with and lost my most amazing power is gonna die in like 20 minutes. But nope. And it's not like now where, if he dies and he has like a 401k, then she can get it and then she'll be all set for life. And it's not like she can't like stay with him for like 2.5 years and then leave and then take all his stuff. Like, that doesn't work back then. And then I guess the biggest thing is this big gate that the whole story builds up towards this place where the immortals are like locked away, like Walt Disney in a cryo crypt or something. And I don't understand the point of the gate, because it couldn't really protect the town, because you could just walk around it. I mean, it would take you like weeks, and there's probably no Starbucks out that way. and it would probably be really depressing. But I mean, you could get around it, and they even show shots where they show the big open valley of plains where they, for one, they wouldn't even live there because it's like a desert wasteland. But I guess that's not a point, I guess. But they could get around it. So the other thing I thought was, well, maybe the gates kind of like the fortress to protect where those little creepy zombie guys are stored, or former gods, or whatever they're supposed to be. So I think that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's like protection to get to that place, I guess. But then the layout of it is just kind of like straight, and it doesn't seem that big. It's like a little hallway, like on a movie set. It doesn't seem. You think if there's a big old security gate that nobody can ever get through, you wouldn't make it just a straight hallway. You would make it like a maze or something. I always thought they had little holes for people to, like, shoot out arrows and stuff, but nobody did that. I don't know if that wasn't supposed to be for that, or they just didn't have the budget for that, for CG arrows, I guess. And then the other part is they mention, I think in that deleted scenes, that the gate takes like hours to close because it's so big. But then he just, like, Hero just cuts that chain and it falls down instantly. So why couldn't they figure out how to get the gate open, close it sooner? And the last part is that bow that they try to get at the beginning. They make a big uh, deal out of it, and then they get it, and it like doesn't mean anything anymore, and it's not even crucial to the story. Then it's like if you were playing Zelda and you got the Master Sword like from the beginning, and it would just like ruin the whole magic of it.